Hi there, come on in. We are broadcasting right now from Tip-Up Town, USA at Houghton Lake. And I'll tell you, today is Florida compared with yesterday. I'm not kidding. We're doing this on Sunday afternoon. The temperature is, what would you say, Tom?
I believe it's around 18 below zero.
18 below zero, and the wind is blowing. It's kind of nippy. But these fellas here caught our big fish of the week. We're going to talk to them all in just a minute because it's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors. Now, this may not look to you like a big fish of the week, but believe me, it's noteworthy to have it here on Michigan Outdoors because it's caught on Tip-Up Town weekend when the temperature was what?
About 18 below.
18 below, and you caught this perch and won yourself a prize. How big is it?
He's 9.5 inches long.
And I tell you, this is one of the few times anybody's going to get on Michigan Outdoors with a 9.5-inch perch. But I tell you, you are a real trooper. Your name is?
My name is Bill Babcock.
From?
Bedford, Michigan.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we have the big perch that was caught up here at Tip-Up Town. That's what, 11 1/8 inch, 11 ounces. Okay, go ahead. Tell me the battle story.
Well, it wasn't much of a battle. Just as soon as we pulled it out, we knew we had one for the board, so we brought it across the lake from all the way over on the other side.
What did you catch it on?
Just a minnow and a Russian hook.
Were the fish hitting pretty good?
Not real good, but it was nice. We were inside.
You were in
the
the shanty. And your name is?
Charles Harrington.
From?
Saginaw, Michigan.
Saginaw. He's got the big perch here at Tip-Up Town, 11 ounces. How about that? But that's caught on a day when it's 18 below zero. Now we have a stringer of walleye. You got 5 walleye there, a nice limit. What's the secret to your success?
Silver Swedish pimple with bronze one side and silver on the other.
Jigging it?
Jigging it.
And what is your name?
Wilbur Marshall.
Are you a local?
Yep, Houghton Lake on a Dig Avenue.
You guys know how to get the limits. I'll tell you, congratulations. We have our big string of pike right here from a young man whose name is?
Mike Bebo.
From?
Alma, Michigan.
From down in Alma. Okay, now how'd you get this stringer of pike?
Well, I used this white Swedish pimple with a minnow head on it, and I jigged them up.
That must be the most popular way of fishing up here, eh? And you caught 5 of them. Were you in a shanty?
Yes, I was.
I guess everybody was in a shanty yesterday. How about you, Tom?
Tom Woodard, Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Okay, Tom. And you caught a pike that is, what, 8?
8 pounds, 32 inches.
Great.
I caught him outside the shanty.
But how often do you fish Houghton Lake?
This is my first time. It's first year. My brother brought me up. He's been coming about 5 years in a row, and he talked me into coming up, and I came up, and I'm really happy now.
Well, you caught it outside of a shanty. Why in the world would you be out on the ice on a day like this?
Well, I tried inside my shanty, and I wasn't getting any luck, so I decided to put a tip up outside the shanty, and when I saw the flag come up, I ran over, and this is my reward.
Hey, well, that's great. That's great. Did you catch any more than this?
Yes, I did. I caught 2 more, and my cousin caught 1.
Wow, golly, that's the way I go, Pete. You can catch fish in this weather up here at Tip-Up Town. And now we got the big one, the winner here on the first weekend of Tip-Up Town. Your name?
Pat Taylor.
From?
Sanford.
Sanford. Okay, well, congratulations on this 12-pound pike, 37 inches long. Yeah, hold that baby up there. These fish are frozen solid, and they should be.
It's really cold.
Okay, well, let's get the story on the biggest fish. When did you catch it?
Last night, well, just before dark, and flag went up. I pulled him through, and that's...
Caught him on a tip-up?
Yeah.
Fishing on the bottom or just off the bottom?
Well, the middle ground's there. I don't know. I was fishing probably about 6 feet off the bottom there.
You fish the lake often?
Quite often, yes.
And how does the fishing rank in weather like this when it's so cold and so miserable?
It's when it's the best.
When it's the best. Well, that's what they say. You can't argue with success. A 12-pound pike. These are the lucky fishermen at Tip-Up Town, USA, who on this very, very chilly weekend caught the big fish. Congratulations, boys. You're real troopers.
Thank you.
Ed, that was a very, very cold taping session, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, Fred, I about froze my fingers off there.
Yeah, going out on the lake on the snowmobiles. The lake wasn't as crowded as it was in years past. Now, you haven't been up to Tip-Up Town before.
This is my first year up there, and I have to say that I met, even though it was cold, some of the warmest people I've ever met.
That's for sure. It's an incredible time for people who haven't been up there. Now, some people, you know, they think Tip-Up Town, a big ice fishing festival, everybody has to go out on the ice all day long and fish. To other people, the phrase tip-up refers to some action of the elbow that occurs to some other section of town. But it is a good time, a wild party. Here they have, tug-of-wars, pie-eating contests, beard-growing contests. A lot of people are dressed up, especially the locals.
Right.
Do they look like they're enjoying it or what?
Yeah, they look like they're enjoying it, and they look like a lot of them are from outer space with some of those masks on.
There's Calamity Jane Henning, wife of Chuck. They're very active up there at Houghton Lake. These people really make it go and extend the hospitality. Businesses are just hopping, well into the morning hours, especially on a weekend like this. But the people who were out on the ice were dressed very warmly. And you know, people don't realize, who haven't used snowmobile suits before, how warm a snowmobile suit is.
And you need it in weather like this. Look at this one right here.
Scarves, masks. They canceled, unfortunately, the first Saturday. They had to cancel the snowmobile races, and Doug Dodge's aerial act was canceled, but of course the skydivers didn't want to come down either, but you can understand why. The first day the wind was howling, snow was coming down. It was probably 10 below on Saturday, but overnight it got down to 20 below. What a time it is, Tip-Up Town, USA. Something if you enjoy ice fishing, cross-country skiing, snowmobiling. It's all up there in the Houghton Lake area. And of course they're having Tip-Up Town continues through this coming weekend too. This is the 32nd annual Tip-Up Town, Ed. It started back in 1950 as an ice fishing festival. But soon people got the idea, I thought it was fun having the temperature this cold. I mean, I wouldn't want it every year.
No, I don't think so.
But the atmosphere up there at Tip-Up Town this past weekend was like, well, when they closed school and you're snowbound at home. I mean, there's something fun about it, a lot of camaraderie. People out there just having one heck of a time. A lot of kids, and they have, games on the ice, softball tournaments, a real scream to watch on the ice.
Carnivals, carnival rides.
Carnival rides, and unfortunately the people weren't there on the ice, but they were in town. We'll talk to Chuck Henning, one of the co-directors, about how the first weekend was.
It looks like business as usual, Chuck. We've got Doug Dodge and we've got the parachutists. We have ice fishing out here with 12-pound pike being caught.
Hey, Doug's here every year, regardless of the weather. Yesterday it was a little too windy, but he's doing his thing today for us. Puts on a beautiful aerial acrobat.
A lot of snowmobiles out here. There are quite a few amazingly number of ice fishermen who are doing quite well, but the crowd isn't too big on the ice.
No, on the ice, I think they've chickened out to come out here. They're up here. They're all over the lake.
Why would they possibly chicken out?
Well, they're not used to it like us northern people are, you know. We're dressed for it, look at, you know. And a lot of them come up here a little lightly dressed. And this is a main factor up here, you know. You got weather, you can't do anything about Mother Nature, you know.
But Tip-Up Town has been going strong, hasn't it? The night spots are really crowded.
Oh, it's all over the lake. Everything's full. All the resorts are filled, night spots are filled, restaurants are filled. Everybody's doing business up here.
And you know, in some ways, I think this below zero weather makes it kind of fun.
Oh, sure. That's part of winter. You know, we live in Michigan, let's face it.
Dick, come back around to me, Dick. We'll do an interview again. Now, what kind of clothes do you recommend? Now, everybody can't have an Eskimo hood like that.
Not everybody can have one like this, but a good snowmobile suit like you've got on, good warm boots, stocking hats, face masks, mittens, good warm mittens. You know, if you dress properly, you don't have to worry about it.
Of course, about the hottest item in the stores up here yesterday was those face masks.
Face masks, yes, because you could have gotten frostbite yesterday if you didn't watch it real close. The chill index is probably about 45, 50 below zero.
Terry Wilbur from Flint, Michigan. I know that much about you, but I want to know, is it you who wrestles professionally?
No.
You don't? Well, this outfit you're wearing, I don't think too many people would recognize you.
I just bought it up here to keep warm. And
How did it work out?
pretty nice. Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you, it looks great. That's what everybody tells you, right?
Yep.
Did you try going out on the ice yesterday without a face mask?
Yeah. Like I didn't buy it till after I left here yesterday.
And you wouldn't be without it?
No. It's
Well,
really
obviously, when you see this guy again, you obviously recognize him. That's Terry Wilbur. This is Kirk Newman from Clio coming down right now. It's got to be mighty cold up there. We're going to try to talk to him as soon as he hits the ice. Oh, he's doing a fantastic job coming in on the target. Oh, a little to the... Okay. Hey, Kirk. Whoa, how's the weather up there?
Cold, real cold.
How cold is it? Any idea?
I couldn't see. My goggles clogged up. They had ice on them.
Your eyes are a little bit red, too. Is that from the wind up there?
I think it's ice on them.
Wow. What do you wear special to keep warm in doing this?
I got an Air Force flight suit underneath this.
An Air Force flight suit. Do you feel warm when you're coming down?
Yeah, I think it's because of drilling.
Let's see what you look like.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Okay, you're from Clio?
Yes.
How fast are the winds up there?
They're not real bad, but we fall approximately 120 miles an hour in free fall.
Boy,
Gives you a pretty bad cold chill.
Yeah, the wind chill's got to be terrific. Well, you did an outstanding job. Are you an ice fisherman?
No, never have.
I suppose you think ice fishermen are crazy going out in this weather.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to hear.
I like to sit in the summer and fish.
Okay, good man. Kirk Newman from Clio.
We don't often get into sports like parachuting and ballooning and things like that on Michigan Outdoors, but it's kind of fun on a weekend like that. Everybody's together, freezing up at Houghton Lake, but boy, having a heck of a time. And it's always interesting to find out how other people manage to keep warm. But those skydivers really had a problem. You can see here from the air, the crowd was rather sparse. There are times at Tip-Up Town when there are 30,000, even 40,000 people up there. Many of them on the ice at one time. Can't get a parking place very close to Tip-Up Town at all. But Houghton Lake is a 20,000-acre lake, Michigan's largest lake. And it used to be used as a collection point for logs that were driven down the Muskegon River, and the Muskegon River has its beginning in the northwest corner of the lake. The lake is shallow. Its maximum depth is just a little over 22 feet, and it averages 8 feet deep. And that's why it freezes over so early, and the ice is so thick. It can support 30,000 people on the ice at one time. There's northern pike, walleye, big bluegill. Now, the bluegill haven't been hitting, at least up until this point that I've heard. They'll come on a little later, but this lake does have some mighty big bluegill. Fishermen are oftentimes out on the ice at Houghton Lake, Tip-Up Town, but in weather like this, they stick to their shanties.
Sunday afternoon, the wind has picked up a little bit. The temperature is well below zero, and we found one shanty here, a guy named Rick Landstrom from Prudenville. He doesn't know we're going to pay him a visit. But here we go. We want to find out what kind of wild and crazy guys would be out fishing in an ice shanty on a day like that. Hey, Rick, you in there? Here he comes. Hey, looks like you're pretty snuggy warm in here.
Oh, it's nice and warm in here.
Hey, this looks like a pretty great shanty. You doing any good?
No. I caught one small one.
One small what?
Pike, northern.
And had to throw him back?
Yeah, I had to throw him back.
Oh, well, that's too bad. How many does this shanty accommodate?
It's got 4 holes in it. I don't have none of them opened up because it's frozen right now. I got to get it out before I open them up.
Okay, so what do you run, tip-ups outside of here?
Yeah.
How's fishing been in weather like this?
Oh, well, I had flags up quite a few times. It's just I had them on, they got off,
Well, what is it about ice fishing that, attracts you to build a shanty like this and come out in weather like this and sit here and watch flags?
Oh, it's fun. I like it. I don't know what to say other than that.
It just kills the time.
Yep, kills the time.
Relaxing or exciting or what?
Well, I hope to get one of those big ones one of these days, when they get out of here.
Yeah, that guy who won the contest got a 12-pound pike.
He did?
Yeah, he was jigging with a Swedish pimple for walleye.
That'd be nice.
Lucky dog.
Yeah, I guess so.
How's fishing been this winter?
Oh, this is only the second time I've been out. I come out one other time and I caught 2 or 3, but this is only the second time I've been out. Been too busy. I got a week off, so I'm going to enjoy this whole next week out here.
You're going to come out here every day?
Every day, yeah.
Rick Lindstrom?
Landstrom
from Prudenville. Dedicated ice fisherman. The kind of guy who comes out here at Houghton Lake, Tip-Up Town, USA, and this is what it's all about.
Yep. It's nice out here.
It's nice in here.
Oh, yeah, in here.
It's not nice out here.
I tell you, I couldn't take it if I had to be out right on the ice. It's different.
I'll tell you, it's mighty, mighty cold.
Yeah.
You know, wind chill yesterday. Were you fishing yesterday?
No, I didn't even come out yesterday. That was too nasty.
But it's toasty warm in here. Is there any chance, can you go in here and see it? Well, let's go in and see if we can see anything. So this is toasty warm in here. How do you heat it?
Wood stove. Got a nice little wood stove, homemade, in the corner there.
And just stoke that fire, and it's toasty warm. And, you know, if it's toasty warm in this weather, when the wind chill's 50 below, it's got to be really warm on a nice day.
Yeah, well, I got 1-inch styrofoam, you know, under the masonite 1-inch styrofoam, and then the paneling, so it's pretty well. About a lighter keeps it warm, you know.
Oh, what are you doing here? Do you just fish here by yourself?
Yeah. Sometimes I have some friends. I got some friends coming down next week from Higgins Lake, and then we're going to fish.
What do you do? Just sit in here and chat? You play cards?
Well, you can. I don't know. This is the first year I had it out here. I lived up here 2 years. I'm usually out on the ice without a shanty, but I got this year, so.
Oh, that's really something. Yeah, this wood stove is nice and toasty warm. Well, Rick, good luck. We'll let you fish here in peace, and sneak on out here in this weather, which we're talking well below zero. Good luck, Rick.
Bye now.
You're right.
That's the way it's done. The winner of the fishing contest with the pike, by the way, was fishing with a tip-up. It was another fellow who didn't show up to pick up his prize who got his jigging with a Swedish pimple for walleye, and he got the pike sort of by accident. There was an 8-pound walleye also that was caught that was brought in about a half hour after the hours for the contest closed. The fishermen are out there and will be out there this weekend. Hopefully the ice holes won't be frozen up quite so much and quite so often. But Tip-Up Town carrying on for another weekend now, and what a time it was. The carnival, the ice fishing, all of it at Tip-Up Town, USA at Houghton Lake. What a time in Michigan outdoors. We're going to change gears a little bit from a winter carnival on the ice that involves fishing to a very serious type of fishing. It is, isn't it, guys?
Sure.
Bill Ludlow and Harry Barnes from the Red Cedar Fly Fishers Club in the Lansing area. You guys are fly tiers. In fact, we have a number of fly tying classes that are coming up and being held right now by various Trout Unlimited chapters and fly fishing clubs. And you'll see the towns and some phone numbers on the screen. We'll also play them a little later, a few minutes later, if you want to write them down if you're interested in getting into a class. Well, Bill, the job that Harry's doing here, working on a streamer fly, is the type of thing you learn in these classes.
Right. We start out on the larger flies, and we'll eventually work to the smaller flies and save the dry flies for last, which are a little more difficult to tie.
Why would a guy want to get into fly tying? I mean, you can buy flies at the store and then save yourself all that trouble.
Well, you can save a lot of money by tying your own flies. Also, you get the satisfaction of fooling the fish with something that you've tied yourself. And a lot of the flies you buy in the stores sometimes aren't quite as good. Maybe it's something you can make yourself if you find that you like it.
It's a good way, too, Fred, to extend your fishing season year-round.
Do you sell the flies that you make?
No, I don't.
Just use them yourself. You must snag a lot of them on the stream banks. Huh?
I find them once in a while, sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's why you need some new ones. Well, these are some of the flies that you've tied, and there's quite a variety. This is a streamer fly you're doing, and there's very small ones. There's poppers, which obviously use a lot of different colors of feathers. And I want to get over here into your tackle box and ask you a second here about this. I see in the fly tying supply magazines that rabbit hair and squirrel tails and pheasant feathers from golden pheasant. There's all different particular parts of animals, certain underhair on deer that are used in certain flies. Why are these things so necessary?
You use them, different feathers have different colors or different shades. Also, they'll have different floating characteristics, or if you want a fly to sink, you want something that's going to absorb water.
So what, you're using some peacock feather on this particular fly.
Uh-huh.
For what reason?
It's kind of fuzzy once you see it all in close, and it has kind of a greenish blue iridescent color that's unique to peacock in that way.
I see. Well, we're going to leave Harry here a second and go over to another facet that I guess this is included in some of the fly tying classes.
Right. Our last class, we do a segment on rod building, the introduction to rod building course, and also we'll do some fly casting instructions.
John Schramm, you're the rod builder here. You're working on putting on a guide, wrapping a guide.
Right. This is one of the final steps that you get into in rod building, and that's putting the guides on the rod.
Now, the equipment you have here, a rat-tailed file, a little varnish, it looks like a minimal amount of equipment to build a rod.
Right, the tools that are needed to get into rod building, most people probably have in their toolbox already, or they're readily accessible in any hardware store without any great investment.
Why would a guy want to build his own rods, though? It must take a lot of time, and you can buy a good rod that'll last a lifetime.
Well, two things. One is the satisfaction from building, but the other is coming out with a product and saving quite a bit of money. Rods, a good fly rod today might cost you $200 or $300, and you could build that same rod for under $100.
And of course, I guess if you learned the techniques on this, you could build casting rods, spinning rods.
That's right. A person that's into steelhead fishing could build himself one of those custom steelhead rods that for a fraction of what it would cost him to buy it finished.
And here's one of the rods that you've made. You get exactly the kind of guides you want, the number of guides, the wrapping. Kind of fun to fish with a rod that you've made, isn't it?
Yes, I do all my fishing with rods that I've built myself and flies that I've tied myself.
Okay, well that's great. All a part of the fly fishing classes, and it doesn't cost that much to build a rod, does it, Bill? What would it cost to build a fly rod?
Okay, if you're talking about a first fly rod, you'd probably build would be a fiberglass rod, just so you want to make sure that that you do, like it. So you want to start out with something a little less expensive, and it probably cost you maybe $20, $25 to build a good fiberglass rod that you'd pay $50 for in a store.
What do the fly fishing classes usually cost to join?
Our class, I can't speak for the others, our class is only $15. And in the beginning class, we do supply all the tools and materials you'll need while you're in the class.
Oh, so you don't have to buy this for the fly tying class?
For the beginning classes, you don't, no. We just supply that during the class.
Looking pretty good there, Harry. This vise you're using, this is the main thing you need, isn't it, for fly tying?
Absolutely. Very important.
And then you have a number of other little things, little tweezers and so on. How much would the materials cost to get a good fly tying setup?
I think probably around $25, $30.
Get you all set.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the fly we can just demonstrate it right here. This is a streamer fly. And what would it cost in the store to buy that?
I think around $1.50.
And what did it cost you to tie it right here?
A few cents.
8 cents,
Hard to tell.
probably, yeah.
When after you buy all the materials, well, some of these
First
flies.
ones are expensive.
Yeah, right. If you only tie one, you've got $50 tied up. These are some of the little mayflies that you've tied, very, very small ones, and you learn the whole range in the fly tying classes.
Yep.
It's great. I've got to show you guys my fly tying kit. Now, this goes back to when I was about 9 years old, and I got this for my birthday. Have the instructions here. It doesn't look like I've used them too much. But you know, when you're 10 years old, you're not really big on instructions anyway, but I got to show you the fly that I tied. What do you think of that, Harry? I was pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You ever seen the wrapping around the barb like that?
I haven't seen that, no.
No, I haven't either. Maybe I could benefit from one of your classes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I got to consider that. Guys, that really sounds great. The fly tying classes, if you're interested, call one of these numbers, find out about it, because that can be a lot of fun, a way to expand your fishing skills. Now we're going to talk about snagging. You guys love to talk about snagging, don't you, fly fishermen? We'll find out what our viewers have to say about that subject.
And Fred, snagging's a hot issue with our viewers, too. Terrell Warrington of Chassel says, snagging is not sport fishing because it requires no skill. It is simply meat procuring. Why not net most of the fish at the river mouths and give them to the people who want the meat? Lawrence and Karen Hamilton of Washington wrote, we both have enjoyed sport fishing for over 25 years and are annually disgusted by the spectacle of this noble practice. Count 2 strong no votes from us. Signed, Sincerely Appalled in Washington, Michigan. From Joseph Andring, 15 of Wyandotte, I fished many places for salmon. To get a salmon to hit a lure is close to impossible. The fish that are snagged are eaten. That's what they're there for, aren't they? After all, I have fun catching them. P.S. I agree with my son, Edward Andring. Gordon Knopfs of Flint complains, people who can afford big outlays of money for boats, gas, equipment, and time to go up north get their fish. But the person who is unemployed or down and out or retired get one chance a year when fish come inland where we can get to them. We buy fishing licenses too. Let us have our fish. And WDS of Livonia wrote, I could clearly see that the guy for it was very good at using sarcasm as the basis of his defense. Come on, we're not stupid. He didn't have any good reasons, and he knows it. That's our mailbag, Fred.
Isn't that great? I tell you, people say sportsmen don't have opinions. Wait till you hear the mail we got from last week's controversial issue. Should handguns be banned? I'll tell you, it was one-sided. See if we can figure out which side. Next week, we have Dr. Howard Tanner on from the DNR. That'll create some interest, I'm sure.
Another hot one.
Right now, let's go to a weekend forecast. This is one that Chuck Henning made a tip uptown about this coming weekend while it was 20 below.
Well, the first weekend was mighty, mighty cold, Chuck. But what do you look for tomorrow night when you open up the festivities again?
Nice weather. Mother Nature says it's going to be nice.
Well, we got our fingers crossed on that. Will you have the same array of activities?
Same array of activities. Friday night we start with the Torchlight Parade. Saturday, Sunday, it'll be everything all over the same as this weekend.
And maybe we'll catch some big fish too.
Oh, we had some beautiful fish, and if it's a little warmer, we're gonna have more fishermen out there. And I know you've been up here in the past and you've seen the fish that's come out of this lake. Record sizes.
As a tribute to all the people who braved the Arctic winds last weekend at Tip Up Town, the Queen, her court, and I from Tip Up Town, USA, would like to kiss off this show in true Eskimo fashion.
Sort of traditional to kiss the Queen in the court, isn't it, to be on TV?
That's what I've heard.
I know, but that would really be corny way to end this show. And I think with 20-degree below temperatures and the wind blowing like it is and the way this weekend has been, I think we should rub noses. Oh, hey, I kind of like that. Have you ever tried that before? Oh, I think this is really a great way to end the show, don't you? Oh, that's the way it's done, and I loved it.
Funding for the preceding program was made possible in part by a grant from Farm Bureau Insurance Group and its agents throughout Michigan.
Rugged shore and woodlands of the north, its history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties we'll look around again, and all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. Sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of the beauty in the state of Michigan.
Hi there, I'm Fred Trost. I hope you'll join me this week on Michigan Outdoors. We have a special feature. We're going to open up the show with Maynard, an 8-month-old button buck. You can see his little antlers right here. He's at the Houghton Lake Deer Research Station. It's a cold day, let me tell you. It's about 8 degrees below zero. The wind's howling at about 30 miles an hour. But that's the way it is. So join me this Thursday night on public television right here on Michigan Outdoors.